But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Rachel Zegler didn't walk away. She ran, not metaphorically, not emotionally, not in a PR-crafted statement wrapped in optimism. She literally got on a plane, crossed the ocean, and landed in Dubai. Gone, vanished. Silence. No interviews, no tweets, no red carpets. And in her absence, the world started asking the one question that echoed louder than anything she'd ever said into a microphone. What exactly is she running from? Because just weeks ago, she was everywhere. At premieres, in interviews, on viral, sound bites. She was the face of Disney's newest live-action juggernaut, Snow White, the bold new take, the feminist revamp. The version that wasn't about true love anymore, but about leadership, strength, independence. She said the prince was creepy. She said the original was outdated. She mocked the 1937 classic as a relic. And in doing so, she didn't just rewrite a character. She rewrote the expectations of millions. The internet didn't just take notice, it roared. Clips circulated like wildfire.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of
Edits pairing her dismissive quotes with scenes from the original. Reaction videos, rants, meme after meme. Even people who had never cared about Snow White suddenly had something to say. Because Rachel didn't just change the story. She insulted the memory. And whether intentional or not, the backlash was unforgiving. And now, she's gone. The timing wasn't subtle. Rachel's disappearance came just days after reports leaked. From inside Disney, rumors that the studio held an emergency meeting to assess whether she was to blame for the box office disaster of Snow White. And then, another bombshell. Disney may be preparing to demand Rachel pay back part of the damage. $120 million. The kind of number that's not just career-altering, it's soul-crushing. Suddenly, Rachel's PR machine stopped moving. No rebuttals. No clarifications, just a wiped schedule. Deleted posts. Jet tracking accounts picked up her outbound flight to the UAE.
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of?
And now, her team says she's taking a break. But fans, insiders, and media analysts all agree. This looks less like a break and more like an escape. And who could blame her? The Snow White rollout was a masterclass in what not to do. The interviews weren't just divisive, they were damaging. She didn't praise the original story. She ridiculed it. She didn't respect the character. She reinvented her with the subtlety of a wrecking ball. In one viral clip, dressed in the iconic Snow White gown, she joked, "Every hour I wear this outfit, I deserve to be paid." Another line about how she should receive royalties for every stream online landed like a slap in the face to the very fans Disney was trying to woo. People didn't see a heroine. They saw entitlement. Hollywood insiders say Disney went into meltdown. Executives held closed-door meetings. Press appearances were canceled. Studio heads flew out to meet with her personally, asking, begging her to stop. Take down the tweets, tone it down. Focus on the role, not the rhetoric. She didn't listen. Instead, she doubled down, one tweet after another, one clip after another. "I don't need your business if you disagree," she declared in one interview. Fans cringed. The studio panicked. The press machine sputtered. And then came the comparisons. Across the country, Minecraft, yes, the pixelated game of blocks, was being turned into a movie. No one expected it to work. Critics rolled their eyes. It was childish. It was simple. It was too weird to succeed. And then, it crushed. In one weekend, the Minecraft movie outgrossed Snow White's entire 3-week global run. Audiences flocked to it. Teens cheered in theaters. Families laughed. Critics gave it 40%, but audiences gave it an 87%. Because Minecraft didn't lecture, it didn't condescend, it didn't reinvent the wheel, it simply delivered fun. And that's where the contrast became impossible to ignore. Snow White wasn't just a box office disappointment. It was a branding disaster. Critics didn't pan it because it lacked polish. They slammed it because it lacked soul, because it took something beloved and turned it into something unrecognizable. And Rachel Zegler, fair or not, became the face of that. Backstage at Disney, the conversation turned darker. Executives began exploring their options. Could they invoke a morality clause? Could they recoup bonuses? Could they legally pin the financial fallout on her? Reports say some were pushing for exactly that. Others warned that going after their own star would only worsen the damage, but the buzz grew louder. She burned down $1 billion brand with her own words. And then came the apology. Sort of, a statement surfaced online, clean, scripted, hollow. It read more like a legal memo than a heartfelt message. Fans didn't feel it. They didn't believe it. They called it fake, cold, manufactured. It wasn't her voice. It was corporate speak. And the backlash didn't fade. It exploded. People compared it line by line to other PR disasters. Analysts called it a classic studio patch job. It didn't help. It made things worse. Behind the curtain, sources said Rachel was breaking down. Reports surfaced of her crying, devastated. She was overwhelmed, crushed. Everything she'd worked for was falling apart in real time. A year ago, she was Disney's rising star. The next big thing. She had endorsement deals, spin-offs in development, global tours scheduled. Now? Radio silence. Her team was divided. Some pushed her to fight back. Own the chaos. Do a live Q&A. Lean into it. Become the voice of misunderstood Gen Z rebellion. Others said to retreat. Vanish. Pull the plug. Disappear from the public eye for a year, maybe more. Wait it out. Rebuild slowly. And she chose escape. Dubai. A city far from Hollywood, far from headlines, far from red carpets, no press junkets, no TMZ, no paparazzi, just silence. Meanwhile, Minecraft soared. Critics mocked it. Fans adored it. Theaters were packed. Some showings were so wild, teenagers had to be escorted out by police for partying too hard during the movie. It was chaos, but the fun kind, the nostalgic kind. The kind that Snow White used to represent, and therein lies the tragedy. Disney's Snow White wasn't a failure because audiences hated the idea of change. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more raw truth about Hollywood's biggest disasters, viral scandals, and behind the scenes chaos, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring that bell. Because this story, it's not even close to over. Thanks for watching. Because sometimes fairy tales fall apart. And when they do, it's not the witch or the curse that does the damage. It's the choices we make after once upon a time